Good morning and happy Friday. This is Haley Gibson. Today I just want to talk to you a little bit about blood pressure. 1/3 of adults in the U.S. have high blood pressure, and this is also one of the main reasons that people even begin to seek help for their health at all. They go into the doctor's office, somebody takes their blood pressure, and next thing you know, they're being diagnosed with pre-hypertension or hypertension. This is terrifying for a lot of people. A lot of times this is the first time they've ever seen anything wrong with their health. So people begin to look for ways to lower their blood pressure, and that's what I want to address today. High blood pressure puts you at an increased risk for heart attack, stroke, aneurysms, damage to your kidneys, and erectile dysfunction. It's extremely stressful for the heart, and we should do all that we can to take care of our hearts and vessels. So before we dive into the topic, I want to let you know who you're talking to. So my name is Haley Gibson. I'm a registered nurse and functional nutritionist. I'm extremely passionate about sharing healthy strategies to take care of yourself and get your life back on track so that you can live optimally all the days of your life. So if you look in the top left-hand corner, that's myself. Down below that, you see me with my parents. We were out wakeboarding that day. In the middle here is myself with Brett Lee. That is my boyfriend. He's a firefighter and paramedic. I am extremely proud of all the hard work he does and all that he does for the community. If you look over to the right, you can see us at the Mountain Challenge. Up on top, that's us at the Mountain Challenge. Every Monday night, we go with a group of about 100 up to 150 people up the side of Kennesaw Mountain doing exercises and enjoying each other's companies. Great group of people. I've met a lot of friends through that, and it's a good time. If you ever want to come out, it is free. So down below that, you can see Brett and I at a Savage race. For those of you who like to run and do obstacles, this one is really awesome. It was 5 miles, 25 obstacles, loads of fun. You should check it out. All right, let's talk about blood pressure. So 1 in 3 adults suffer from hypertension. 1 in 3 adults with hypertension do not even know that they have it. Get checked, people. 1 in 3 adults treating hypertension cannot keep it under 140 over 90. This is a big deal. So 140 over 90 is when you're clinically diagnosed as having hypertension. You have to have several readings in order for this to actually happen, but 120 over 80 is considered normal. If you are anywhere in between 120 and 140 for your top number, this is considered pre-hypertension. And then that bottom number, you want that under 90. Once you reach 90, that is considered hypertension as well. So what exactly does high blood pressure mean? Your entire vascular system is connected to your heart, and your heart is the pump. This pump creates a high to low pressure system every time that it beats, and this allows blood to flow easily and forcefully through the arteries and eventually into the cells. The blood is returned to the pump through the veins in a low pressure system. The veins also have valves in place to prevent blood from flowing backwards because it is a low pressure system, and it's also traveling against gravity. It's coming from your feet back up to your heart. So we really need movement and muscle contraction to help return the blood back to the heart. This is one reason that a sedentary lifestyle is so bad for us. It is important to get our blood flowing so that we can get rid of waste products efficiently. So when there are kinks thrown in, such as plaque and rigid vessels, this increases the pressure that the heart must overcome to pump the same amount of blood to the body. This puts a lot of stress on the heart, and over time it causes severe damage, putting us at risk for heart attacks. So when we see our blood pressure start to rise, this is our body crying out for help. Giving blood pressure and cholesterol medication masks the underlying cause of the elevated blood pressure, which we all know what's the cause of elevated blood pressure. Poor lifestyle, poor diet, staying up all night, insomnia, constant stress on ourselves, to be the best at everything and then not sleep. And of course our diet is a huge, huge role in that. So we really need to address these things as well, or else we're just going to have to keep increasing our doses of blood pressure medications. The medications also don't make your vessels or your heart any healthier. It's a Band-Aid. So today I want to discuss 5 ingredients that will help bring down your blood pressure. First up is potassium. This mineral works along with sodium to control your body's fluid balance. Sodium actually draws water into your blood, raising the blood pressure, while potassium has the opposite effect. So if you increase your intake of all these foods that you see here, you're actually going to help decrease your blood pressure. These are also lower in sodium. Today's American diet, as we all know, everyone's sodium is through the roof. So we really want to make sure that our diets are high in potassium, and then we are getting our sodium from a good source, such as pink Himalayan salt, and not all the processed forms of salt that we are eating today. Foods high in potassium are an important part of the DASH diet, which the American Heart Association recommends to lower blood pressure. So if you do have chronic kidney disease, this may not be appropriate for you to increase your dietary intake, so please seek medical advice before doing so. All right, so the next one up is magnesium. Magnesium supplements lower blood pressure by encouraging the muscles in your blood vessels to relax. These supplements are poorly absorbed, and digestive upset is a common side effect. Many times whenever we have patients struggling with constipation, magnesium is something that we give to help with that. It helps the system relax and creates gut motility. But most of us are deficient in magnesium, so it's a really great supplement to use. It also helps with muscle relaxation. If you have any kind of muscle spasm, using a liquid transdermal form of magnesium, such as magnesium oil or cream, that's really great for soothing muscle spasms, and it can decrease pain and inflammation. So green leafy vegetables, nuts, raw cocoa, pink Himalayan salt, wild-caught fish, all of these things are high in magnesium. Another nutrient we like to use is folate. It's one of the B vitamins, and it lowers levels of homocysteine. Homocysteine is generated from chemical reactions in the body and is associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. We'll talk a little bit more about homocysteine in a little bit, but it does damage the arteries and allows the buildup of fatty deposits, which narrows the blood vessels. So homocysteine is actually one of the primary suspects for producing plaque to begin with. It can cause the vessel damage and initiate that process of fatty substances latching on, inflammation, red blood cells coming in to fix it. Next thing you know, you have plaque and a narrowed artery, and this causes your heart to work harder because you can look at it as a pipe. Your pipe has gotten narrower. It has plaque in it. Research also links high levels of homocysteine with raised blood pressure, suggesting that a diet containing plenty of folate may benefit blood pressure. So again, it's largely plant-based foods that supply the most folate, with green leafy vegetables, pulses, avocados, citrus fruits, and berries. So you're starting to see a pattern here, right? Eat your vegetables, eat your avocados, nuts and seeds in moderation. Eat healthy. So the next thing I want to talk about is antioxidants. Antioxidants are going to increase your energy levels, reduce inflammation, slow down the aging process, strengthen your immune system, detoxify the body, and improve athletic performance and recovery. You might be familiar with antioxidants such as vitamin C, vitamin E, beta-carotene, and lots of others. We know plants give us antioxidants. So these protective nutrients neutralize free radicals. This is why they're important. Free radicals are generated constantly. We are all full of free radicals, and these can be turned into cancerous cells, inflammation. They can damage every cell in our body, including our blood vessels. So we really need to make sure that we are getting enough antioxidants in our diet in order to help decrease the free radicals that we have in our system. Antioxidants may reduce blood pressure, as well as being used along with increased activity. This is a really great way to bring down your blood pressure. You're going to get antioxidants through fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. The supplement here that I have up is called super glutathione. We also use NRF2 power. Glutathione and N-acetylcysteine being the precursor to glutathione. This is one of the best antioxidants you can get into your system. It's really great for the liver. It just helps detoxify the entire body. Great, great product. So the last one I want to talk about is fatty acids. So fatty acids cut your risk of heart disease and stroke. However, while omega-3 is often spoken about in relation to reducing blood clots, these oils can also lower blood pressure. The mode of action may lie in the fact that there are omega-3 receptors on the channels for potassium in the blood vessels, allowing the flow of potassium, which, as we talked about earlier, lowers blood pressure. Everybody's really scared of eating fat. I just want to get it out there that every cell in your body is made up of this little fatty lipid membrane that you see right here. Your body needs cholesterol. It needs good levels of healthy fats in order to remake every single cell. Fat is also used in all of our hormone production. If you aren't eating enough fats in your diets, you will definitely suffer from some form of disease, maybe not making enough hormones, and you'll see all kinds of symptoms. So definitely want a diet high in omega-3s. That's the key. A lot of us are getting too many omega-6s in our diet. We're going to make sure we're getting a lot of omega-3s. This can be found in salmon, sardines, mackerel. Plant options are flax seeds, hemp, walnuts, and their oils, as well as chia seeds and green leafy vegetables. However, this is not efficiently converted in the body. It's not as usable. So I highly advise taking a fish oil supplement. Make sure it's a good quality with a good amount of EPA and DHA. So those were the top 5 ingredients. I just want to mention one more thing. So even with advanced nutrition and lifestyle recommendations, we still have really stubborn cases of high blood pressure. Dr. Jockers has been using L-arginine effectively with these tough cases. And basically what L-arginine does in the body is it is the precursor to nitric oxide. For those of you who have experience with heart patients, cardiovascular patients, you know that nitroglycerin is what we use whenever they're having chest pain. We're concerned about the blood flow not reaching their heart. So we give nitroglycerin, and this relaxes the blood vessels so that the heart is able to get additional blood flow. So L-arginine is really great for relaxing those blood vessels, and it's a natural source. One thing you should be aware of is if you are taking blood pressure medication or anything like Viagra, you really should be cautious because it can potentially drop your blood pressure too low. All right. So I just want to talk about testing for a second. We offer the Cardio Power test. When it comes to cardiovascular health, lipid panels are really outdated, and scientists have demonstrated that these tests have many, many limitations and only identify 40% of those at risk for coronary heart disease. People drop dead every day with normal cholesterol levels, normal blood pressure, and a normal EKG. Scientists have found much more advanced blood tests that can far more accurately assess your risk of heart disease. So just going to tell you a little bit about what we look at. So this picture down here, we'll talk about it. This shows us how homocysteine causes damage. So homocysteine, remember I was saying we create too much homocysteine whenever we have a decrease in folate. So homocysteine injures the arterial wall. You can see the little cut right there. And then fatty substances will come over to this to try to fix it. And then we have inflammation. Our immune system comes over. It's concerned about the site of injury, and it'll cause inflammation. And then arterial cells proliferate, and they get over there to try to heal the lesion. But what happens is they end up sticking together, and then this causes that plaque buildup. All right. So some of the things that we test for on this test include a vertical auto profile test. So not only does this look at cholesterol, LDL, and triglycerides, it also measures cholesterol subclasses. We also look at homocysteine levels, which we've talked about. C-reactive protein is also measured. It's one of the major inflammatory markers that should be measured. Studies have indicated that individuals with elevated levels of CRP, or C-reactive protein, have a risk about 2 to 3 times higher than the risk of those with low levels. So extremely important to take a look at. We also do a nuclear magnetic resonance lipoprofile test. I won't go into too much detail about this, but basically it looks at LDL particle number and size. This is a really advanced method of looking into how your vessels are doing. LDL particle is more responsible for the condition of your vessels than LDL cholesterol is. So it's really important to look at. We also look at the plaque test. I won't go into too much detail about this either, but basically it's the only biomarker that is FDA approved for ischemic stroke risk assessment. People who should get this test done include anyone who is overweight, has chronic inflammation, has diabetes, you notice that you're short of breath, you're dizzy, you've had blood clots before, heart arrhythmias. If you have high blood pressure, I highly recommend it. Stroke and heart disease, definitely should get it checked out. All right. So this slide just shows myself and Dr. David Jockers. He is the owner and operator of Exodus Health Center in Kennesaw, Georgia, as well as drjockers.com. I'm his functional nutritionist and nurse, and I help people interpret their labs and make changes in their lives to overcome disease. Our goal is to educate the community and provide people with the resources they need to take responsibility for their health. If you're interested in a consultation, a test, or have questions at all, please feel free to email me at nutrition@drjockers.com. I'd really love to hear from you. Again, the email is nutrition@drjockers.com. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a great day.